Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling you get when you're far away from the city lights, you look up at the night sky, and you just feel tiny? It's incredible, right? Well, today, we're going to take that feeling and run with it. We're going on a journey from the stars you can see with your own eyes all the way out to the very edges of the cosmos. And our adventure kicks off in a place with some of the clearest skies you can find anywhere on the planet. So, picture this. We're in the stunning region of Nubra in Ladakh, India. There's practically zero air pollution, no city lights to wash everything out, and here, two kids, Youngdal and Dorje, get to see the night sky as it's truly meant to be seen, in all its glory. And that sense of wonder they feel, that's a connection to the universe that we humans have been feeling for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, it's such a simple question, but the answer? It's absolutely mind-blowing. What we're seeing is, well, it's everything. It's the light from stars that are unbelievably far away, it's patterns our ancestors saw, and it's even our own cosmic next-door neighbors. So let's break it down. What exactly is up there?
All right, Section 1, the view from Earth. Our whole journey starts right here, at home, just doing what people have always done, looking up. This is the exact same view our ancestors had, way before we had fancy telescopes or spaceships. I mean, just think about that for a second. For thousands of years, people have stared at this very same sky. You had ancient caravans trekking through places like Nubra, and what did they use to navigate? The stars. The night sky wasn't just pretty, it was their map, their calendar, their storybook, everything, all rolled into one, filled with epic tales passed down from one generation to the next. But let's be honest, a sky packed with stars can just look like a random, chaotic mess of dots. So how on earth did our ancestors make any sense of it? Well, they did what people are amazing at. They started connecting the dots and finding patterns. And really, this is the most basic, creative part of astronomy. It's something you can do right now. You look for the brightest stars you can find, then in your mind, you draw lines between them, and pretty soon you start to see something familiar. Maybe it's a hunter, or a dog, or even a boat. And once you see it, you tell a story about it. It's that simple, and it's something people have done all over the world forever. And this simple act of connecting the dots is how we got some of the most famous patterns in the sky. You've got Orion, the mighty hunter, and right behind him is his loyal dog, Canis Major. And of course, probably the most famous of all, the Big Dipper. The cool thing about the Big Dipper is that it points you right to the pole star, Polaris, which is a super important trick because that star always points you north. But you know, this whole idea of constellations has changed a lot. Back then, they were all about stories, myths, and legends. It was a way to remember the stars. But now it's a science. Today, astronomers have officially defined 88 constellations. They're not just cool shapes anymore. They're like precise countries on a map, dividing up the entire sky so scientists know exactly where to look. So, is that it? Is the sky just a bunch of super distant stars? Oh, not even close. The stars are just the background, the really, really distant stuff. We've got a whole cosmic neighborhood of things that are much, much closer to us. Okay, so it's time to zoom in. Let's pull our focus away from those distant stars and look at our own local address in the universe. And right at the heart of it all is one very, very special star, our sun. You know, the only reason our sun looks so big and bright compared to all the other stars is simply because it's so close. It's our star, right, on our cosmic doorstep. Think of it like a street lamp right outside your window versus 1 mile away. That's why it's bright enough to light up our entire day and wash out all those other distant stars. To really get a feel for this, let's talk about distance. Our closest buddy in space, the moon, is about 384,000 kilometers away. And yeah, that sounds pretty far, right? But just hold that number in your head for a second, because watch what happens next.
Okay, now look at the sun. It's 150 million kilometers away. That is a huge jump. The distance is so massive that astronomers gave it its own name, 1 astronomical unit. That's the yardstick we use to measure our solar system.
And now for the grand finale. This is what really drives the point home. The next closest star to us, Proxima Centauri, it's about 40 trillion kilometers away. It's just an insane number. Remember that 1 astronomical unit, the distance from here to the sun? You'd have to travel that distance more than 250,000 times just to get to the next star over. And that is why all the other stars look like tiny pinpricks of light, and our sun is the big, bright center of our world.
So, what else is going on around our star? Well, there's a whole fascinating family of objects circling it. Let's go on a quick tour of our cosmic neighbors, the planets of our solar system.
So, our solar system has 8 planets, and you can basically split them into 2 groups. First up, you've got the small, rocky inner planets. That's us, the blue planet, and our famous neighbor, Mars, the red planet. Then, once you get past a big belt of asteroids, you hit the giants. These are the massive gas giants like Jupiter, which is just enormous, the biggest of them all, and of course Saturn, with those absolutely iconic rings. Seriously, every single one of these planets is a unique world with its own secrets.
And hey, it's not just about the planets. The solar system is a busy place. We've got all sorts of other stuff flying around. We have moons circling planets. We've got 1. Mars has 2. There's that huge asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. You get these icy comets that swing in from deep space with their long, beautiful tails. And yeah, we've got the smaller dwarf planets, like the famous Pluto.
Okay, deep breath. We've looked at the stars from Earth. We've toured our own solar system. Now it's time for the final, biggest zoom out of them all. Where does our entire solar system fit into the grand scheme of things?
Well, our sun, our Earth, all the planets, all the asteroids, all of it is just one tiny, tiny little part of a gigantic structure called the Milky Way galaxy. In India, it's known as the Akasha Ganga. Think of it like a massive swirling city made of hundreds of billions of stars. In our solar system, we're just one house on one street in that city.
And if that wasn't mind-bending enough, here's the last piece of the puzzle. It's truly humbling. Our entire galaxy, the Milky Way, is itself just one island of light in a vast cosmic ocean that is filled with countless other galaxies, billions of them. The scale is it's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. Think about something like a comet. It used to be seen as a terrible omen, something to be feared. But now, thanks to science, we know they're just these amazing icy rocky visitors swinging by the sun. Science has totally transformed how we see the universe, turning fear and superstition into pure wonder and understanding.
And so this entire journey, from simply connecting starry dots in the sky to discovering countless galaxies, it all brings us to, well, the biggest question of all, doesn't it? We still don't have the answer, but the search is on, and it's all driven by that exact same feeling of awe the young Dal and Dorje have when they look up into that dark, beautiful night sky. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think is out there?